Welcome to Model Horse Tack School. My name is Carrie. Today, someone in the comments had said, can you do a tutorial on how to skive lace, leather lace? And that's actually a very good question. How do you skive leather lace? And it's not just leather lace, but there's places and patterns where skiving it just makes sense. So, I don't really need that one. So I'm going to use a bigger piece of, I mean, this would qualify as lace. It's been just a piece of leather that's been made smaller. But anyways, skiving is, it's a skill, and you have to practice it. And what you really want to do is be level to whatever your cutting surface is. Now, I like a board like this because I can get my hand over here and I can get my blade really flat. If you tried to do it over here, then your fingers would be in the way and you'd be at an angle. You can see how it's very awkward. So I'd get yourself some type of cutting surface that actually has some thickness to it, and then work on the edge of that, okay, so that you can get it nice and flat without your fingers getting in the way. When you first start, I wouldn't try and do a whole bunch all at once, because you have to start by going downward at about a 45-degree angle and then turn the blade to a 90-degree or to parallel with the lace. Wow, this lace is going to be interesting. And then just scrape. When you first start, that's all you're really doing, is you're just kind of getting that blade at the right angle to be able to just take off a little bit. See that? And this is a tooling leather that I turned into a lace, so it's going to be harder than leather lace, right? But it's a good way to practice, and you can just see how thin can you get it, and you just a little bit at a time. It doesn't have to be quick, and just kind of scrape away. The most important thing is to get your blade at that 90-degree. You also need a really sharp blade. This one here is a little dull, so I probably should have gotten another one. Now you can use either one. I like these as well. Sometimes they just fit better, and or they just work better. But if I need strength, I'll use this one. I just have to be careful the handle doesn't get in the way, right? So here I am going in at a 45-degree angle, and then I'm turning before I go all the way through. Because if you skive all the way through, then you got pieces instead of thinned, right? So you start by going downward, and then, oops, I went too far. Oh no, that's what's going to happen most often. Now sometimes what I'll do, if it's a critical piece, is I do a bit of a cheat. If it's a critical piece and I accidentally skived all the way through, I will don't tell anyone I'm doing this. Put that down. You have to match it perfect. Yeah, I'll go ahead and try and match it perfectly. If you do it right, nobody would be able to tell it was a skive through. There we go. So I'd let that dry completely, and then I will skive it from the other direction. And you can practice that too. Alright, so let's see. I have a project I'm working on, and I need to thin this. This is also lace that I've made. And bear with me, I'm going to change my blade. So I buy these at the surgical surplus stores. Oops. You have to match that, and I didn't match that, so there we go. Doing my best not to cut myself in the process. Alright. Now I have a fresh blade. Let's see if I can just very carefully try and skim off. Type of thing you can practice while watching TV or listening to TV, because you kind of have to watch what you're doing. It's really important to keep your hand out of the way of the blade because it's very, very sharp. And go slowly, because if you go slowly, then you have a chance to react before you skive all the way through. Oh, like I just did there. That's bad. Is this long enough? Nope. So I have to glue that back together. Alright, but you get the idea. You have to be slow and careful, and even people who've been skiving for a long time still make mistakes. So let me show you with the lace. So you want the lace to lay flat, so you're going to have to work it a little bit to get the curve and everything out of it. And then this is easier. They have a really good, see how easy this is when you buy the leather lace from Rio Rondo. Look at that. Ah, I love this stuff. And it's so easy to skive compared to the stuff I make. But the stuff I make ends up being a lot less expensive because it starts out with a whole cow skin. So I like to have the blade just slightly moving up so that I am more likely to skive up than down. And you can feel it, and if it doesn't feel smooth, then you can just very lightly see if you can't scrape off the high spots. See? It's always best to be right on the edge of that board. Alright, like that, see? And then it's not possible to do it here. It really isn't, not successfully. You have to be over here. Okay? So I hope that will help you with the how to skive leather lace or regular just leather. And that should help with a lot of the details on your horses to be able to skive things just a little bit thinner when you can. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one.